Shabbat Shalom. So if you want to join me in some table rituals, you can count some candles, and we'll start by lighting candles for Shabbat and Yom Tov. Today is the 6th day, and we're moving into the 7th day of Pesach. Throw out some candles, and we'll light together, and then we'll and I even have some matzah to make matzah over. So the candle lighting blessing is on page 531, and again we'll include the phrase for Shabbat and for Yom Tov. So there are different melodies for Shabbat and for Yom Tov. When you use the rarer melody, so we'll do the melody for Chag. If I can get my candle lit. There we go. Gather in the light, gather in the peace, gather in the rest of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat v'yom tov. Shabbat, shalom, and good Yom Tov. 7th day of Pesach, we celebrate the crossing of the sea, which of course was done with singing and fanfare. Shalom Aleichem, page 13. Welcoming messengers, angels of peace. Shalom
peace. Let us send those messengers, those angels of peace. Shalom. Seitchem shalom, malachei ha-shalom. Seitchem shalom, malachei elyon. Melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Anybody else have juice or wine? Or someone in the company that they'd like to offer a blessing to, children, grandchildren? Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yair Adonai panav ilecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav ilecha v'yasem lacha shalom. May God grant you protection, wonder, and peace on this Shabbat. And a blessing for the wine of Shabbat and Yom Tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki eleinu karata v'yotanu kidashta la'avodatecha v'shabbat kodshecha b'avav uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat v'yom tov. L'chaim. So we'll offer a bit of an abbreviated Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat ritual and service this evening. Such a beautiful day. Give you a chance to have a leisurely dinner and maybe enjoy the rest of the sunlight. There's a beautiful passage of poetry called Perek Shira. And Perek Shira offers a verse from usually from Psalms, but from other places and prophets, something that would be said by the elements of nature. So what the heavens would say and what the earth would say and the sea and the rivers and the desert and the sun and the moon and the stars and the clouds and the lightning, finding a verse reflective of the blessing that could come from all the various elements of nature and all the different animals. There's a verse from different animals. But during Passover, it's customary to shift our prayers for precipitation from the prayer for rain to the prayer for dew. So I'll offer what the dew says as they prepare for Shabbat in Psalm. So this is from the Song of Songs, verse 16. Tal Omer, the dew says, Urit Safon, Uvoi Teman, Haficha Gani Zilu Vesamav Yavo Dodi Legano Vayochal Pri Migadav. In English, awake north wind, come forth south wind, blow upon my garden's treasures so they make their species, their spices flow. And let my love come down, come to my garden, and let him feast upon its fruits. Beautiful prayer. So there's another verse from Song of Songs that is traditionally recited on the Shabbat during Passover. The whole book of Song of Songs, this romantic, erotic poetry. A short version of it is in the prayer book. Let me just find it real quick. The Song of Songs on page 14 and following, and we'll do page 19. Dodili ani lo haroe bashoshanim. I am to my beloved as my beloved is to me. A love song to Shabbat. Shoshanim Dodili Va'ani lo harohe Bashoshanim Mi zotola min hamidbar Mi zotola mi kuteret ulevona Shoshanim Dodili Va'ani lo haroe Bashoshanim Libavtini achoti kala Libavtini kala Libavtini achoti kala Libavtini kala Shoshanim Dodili Va'ani lo haroe Bashoshanim Uri Tzafo Uvo Itema Uri Tzafo Uvo Itema. How about you guys on Zoom? You want to sing the last chorus? Dodili Va'ani lo haroe Bashoshanim Dodili Va'ani lo haroe Bashoshanim. I didn't hear you. You didn't unmute. Chabdodi, come my friends, let's go outside and greet the Sabbath bride. Page 41. Lecha dodi likrat kana b'nei Shabbat Adonai echad, u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet, ve'litila lecha, dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat lekabela. Let's go to the last verse, page 47. You can open a door or a window, especially if you're having some good weather wherever you are. And we'll rise welcome the Sabbath bride. Segula, oi kala, echadodi, And let's welcome each other. Maybe if you can unmute or turn on your video. Maybe I'd like, before we do the Shema and then do the blessing for the matzah, if we could share some highlights. Something happened this week that you feel good about, can sort of add to the blessings of this week. Anybody have a highlight they want to share? Go ahead, Mike.
Talking to me, Rabbi?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just thankful I get to spend every afternoon with my granddaughter, and she had a great time being outside in the sun and the beautiful weather today. So we're thankful for that we're able to do that. She also had a good time at the Seder. She loved it.
Fantastic. The pleasure of also having some time with my son Jonah. And well, the whole family got together for Shabbat, and we were together for Passover. And today, one of my son's pastimes is to do some bouldering and climbing, which I have not done very much of, but we went together this afternoon. It was lovely. Anyone else with a highlight they'd like to share?
Yes, I got one matzah. A friend of mine's sister-in-law brought a whole box of matzah back, and I saw his wife today, and she said, "Oh, I think we might have some matzah." I go, "Oh, please, I have to show my rabbi that I actually got some matzah." So he brought it to me in this box. Yay. So next year, I guess I have to bring, you can't get matzah early, but I might have to bring a box of matzah, because guess what? It says, not for Passover. I thought was hilarious. Anyway, I've been wishing everybody a Holy Week, because this is a very Catholic country, and everybody's been wishing same to you. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But anyway, it's very nice.
Thank you, Sally.
Else with a highlight to share? Welcome, Nate.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I had a fantastic opportunity last weekend to spend Passover with my parents, who I haven't been able to see in about a year and a half. I didn't get to see them before COVID, and so we got to spend the two Seders together, which was really just a wonderful blessing.
Anyone else with a highlight to share? You can put it in the chat too if you're in a place where it's harder to unmute. Okay. Well, it's a highlight to have you join us this Friday night and to celebrate this onset of the seventh night of Passover together. Let's do a short version of the blessings before the. Well, I'm seeing Susan's cousin is getting married on Sunday on Zoom, an Easter wedding. Lovely, Mazel Tov. So let's do an abbreviated version of the blessings for the Shema and V'ahavta, and then we'll recite the Shema together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll away the light before the darkness, and the darkness before the light. The rolling, the changing of the seasons here. We're really feeling spring in Colorado today. Golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim, and ahavat olam Beit Yisrael. So on this occasion, during this holiday of Passover, to remember the myriad examples of love that has been shown to the house of Israel, the miracle of our survival. For now, actually, I heard that this year is the 3,333rd year anniversary of the first Passover. So 3333, 3,333 Passovers we've had. So may this be one that reminds us of the thousands upon thousands of blessings, of examples that we can turn to of love in the universe, of a desire to perpetuate love and life on earth. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We'll do the Shema. It's on page 65, Elizabeth. El Melech Ne'eman. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot beinenecha Uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. So as I mentioned earlier, the this day, the seventh day of Pesach that we're bringing in with this Shabbat, is considered the anniversary of the crossing of the Sea of Reeds. The story of Nachshon tells the story of courage and bravery that it took to get the waters to part. That some say it was east wind, some say it was Moses and his prayer and his magic wand, his staff, God's outstretched arm. And the Midrash says that it was Nachshon who had the courage, though he couldn't swim, to just walk into the water and keep walking until it got to his nostrils and the water parted. So this month, the month of April, we just started the midah of the month is the quality of character that we're focusing on through Beth Evergreen, is the quality of courage. And so the quality of courage, we think of, heading into unknowns and unknown waters. Sometimes that involves physical risk, and sometimes an emotional risk, tapping into and exploring feelings that we're not sure where they're going to lead. May we have the courage to wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. We'll do the Hebrew Micha Mocha, the Song of the Sea, Shirat Hayam, page 79. Wade in the water, gonna wade in the water, children, wade in the water, 'cause the trouble in the water is godly too. Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Neda Bakodesh, Nora Tehil, Osei Feleh. See those people dressed up in black. God's gonna trouble the water. They come a long way and they ain't turning back. God's gonna trouble the water. Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Neda Bachodesh, Nora Tehilot, Osei Feleh. The Torah reading for this Shabbat is reading about the crossing of the sea, of course, and it also follows on the heels of the passage from Exodus that teaches us that this month is the beginning of the year, beginning of the annual cycle. It's a new year, new beginning. A good time to think about where we would want to boot up as a journey, as a practice with this Passover. Let's start with a prayer for protection and then healing. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Spread over us your canopy of peace. There's been too much threat to safety. Obviously, the pandemic, which continues, and of course the 3 mass shootings in 2 weeks, and one very close here to Boulder, in Boulder. So in our prayer for a sukkah of peace, a canopy of peace, a tabernacle of peace to be spread over us, over Israel and all who dwell on earth, may we be kept safe, and our families and our children, parents and grandparents. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. When fears multiply and danger threatens, when sickness comes and death confronts us, it is the divine blessing of shalom that sustains us and upholds us, and may it lighten our burdens, dispel our worry, restore our strength, renew our hope, and revive us. I'll invite anybody who wants to offer a name for healing for our Misha Berach for Refuah to put that in the chat. And I'll offer a melody here and just think of different places, and then especially thinking tonight of Kate Olsen, who's at Swedish Hospital, and so many who are sick. I got my second COVID-19 shot today. May more and more people be protected, and may my own symptoms, response to the COVID vaccine be minimal. Anna Elna, Anna Elna, Anna Elna Rifanala, Anna Elna, Kate Barlett, Anna Elna, Anna Elna Rifanalo, Adam Brass, Anna Elna, Anna Elna, Anna Elna Rifanalahem, Anna Elna, Anna Elna, Anna Elna Rifana Lahem. May those we've named and those we hold in our hearts, and so many we don't even know to name, be granted a healing of body and a healing of spirit. May be granted physical health, emotional, spiritual wholeness. And may their loved ones and caregivers likewise be granted strength, courage, and healing. Oseh shalom bimramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. May the source of wholeness and harmony and beauty in nature brings us the renewal of life in spring, bring renewal of healing to all those in need of healing. Oseh shalom bimramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Shalom b'Roma. Amen. So before we do Aleinu, let's do a blessing for this unleavened bread, this bread that symbolizes both oppression and hardship, and somehow also redemption, freedom, and joy. So holding opposites, the bread is able to do, and remind us that we can. We don't need to be so puffed up as Wonder Bread and Challah throughout the year. Anybody else have matzah left besides Sally? There you go. So we have two. Right, this represents the manna that our ancestors nourished our ancestors after they left Egypt and crossed the sea. And each morning they would have just enough for that day, except on Friday. On Friday they would receive a double portion. So they would be allowed to collect a double portion so that they wouldn't have to collect any on Shabbat. So we have two pieces of matzah on Friday night, one for tonight, one for tomorrow, and representing that period of training us to have faith that there's enough, right? There's enough in the world to nourish us and everyone else. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Service in a half an hour, but actually before we say Aleinu, we're supposed to count the Omer. But the stars haven't come out yet, so I'm just trying to decide whether to count the Omer first or sing Aleinu first. Since Elizabeth had the page number, go ahead and do that. We'll sing Aleinu, and then we'll do the counting Omer afterwards.
Shabbat, Ladon Hakol, Lateit Gedula Leotze Bereshit, Shnatan Lam Torah Temet, B'chayei Olam Nata B'tocheinu, Eino, bending and bowing. V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech achei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
So I'm thinking everybody on the Zoom call tonight is familiar with the counting of the Omer, numbering the days, each night when the stars come out, counting the day to come between Passover and Shavuot, the Feast of the First Fruits, between the barley harvest and the wheat harvest, or the beginning of the planting season for the wheat and the harvest. So it's a ritual to use a numbering to add value or remind us of the value of things, which in some ways is a counterpoint to often how numbers get used, right? Numbers get used like tattoos on an arm to devalue and dehumanize. We're hoping to use numbers to do just the opposite, to make each day count, and to deepen our connection and value of appreciation of the natural world. So let's turn to the blessing for the counting of the Omer. So the day we are currently in and leaving is day 5. And we'll go straight to the blessing there. She's got it pulled up. Please do join me in the blessing, or if you'd rather, you can say Amen at the end. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. And then you can repeat after me. We'll do Hayom Shisha Yamim La Omer. Today, thank you, Elizabeth, highlighted and everything. Hayom Shisha Yamim La Omer. Today is day 6, or 6 days for the Omer, for the sheaf that we're counting. And in the Kabbalistic system in the Tree of Life, we are in the week, 6 days of the 6th day of the week of Chesed, of loving kindness. And day 6 is Yesod, the sphera of connection that sort of funnels the energy of loving kindness into connection with one another. So maybe this may be a day of loving kind and connection between us or one another, and between neighbors like the one who brought Sally some matzah in Ecuador. Is anyone saying Kaddish tonight? Specifically have someone they want to honor a yahrzeit for? Well, thank God. You want to read those names to me? Alan? So what are the names that are lit up? We'll just say those. Thank you. Elizabeth.
Alma Zeitler, Ellen Wiesenhoff, Harold Lipstein, and I'm going to mess this one up.
That's okay.
Roger Gopal,
Okay, so we have Irving Cates, Herman Spiegel, Harvey Kugler, Herman Giordani, Grace Bame Fried, Ruth Smith, Philip Wainshaw, John Weston, and Harold Lipstein. Alma Bas Seidler was mentioned, Ellen Diesenhoff, and May Savage. And May Savage is the first yahrzeit, Cindy Savage's mother. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Since we're not quite in a minyan, we won't say the full Kaddish, but maybe we'll just sing Oseh Shalom, the last line of Kaddish Tom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru imeru. Amen. I want to thank Elizabeth for helping out with the Zoom and everything. We got Alan and Dave here at Beth Evergreen running sound, doing a great job. Welcome, Dave, your first time. Great job. And of course, thank you all for tuning in. Nate, welcome back. Glad you had Seders with your family. Alan and the Schneiders, nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in, you guys. And Terry, who was on before, maybe she's still on. Refuah Shlema, Terry, and Luke, Judy, Susan, and Sally, and both Susans, Susan Fishman and Susan Blumenthal. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. Have a beautiful, peaceful, and liberating